Here we are again, Reverend Lynn Roubier Capron with the First Presbyterian Church of Verona.
And Reverend Mike Capron from the First Presbyterian Church of Elmwood Park.
And this is our Thursday coffee break. We're doing a series based on a book about emotional relationships. And the main topic is what we call emotional bids, or putting out sort of pokes or cues to another person to say, hey, I'd like to connect with you in some way. And something that we've noticed is that, if I'm having a grumpy day or a really stressful day or really overworked at the office or something like that, and Mike is having an okay day or a really great day, that works. And vice versa. If he's kind of having too many stressors or a downtime and I'm okay or doing well, that works as well. It comes natural for the other person to lift the other person up. Maybe a little bit of humor or a little bit of pleasant attention. What's really been a challenging issue in our relationship and that we've worked on is what happens when we're both having a really bad day. And Mike found an excerpt in this book by John Gottman that we've been reading that we'd like to share with you.
Yeah, case study. All right. One day I was lying in bed, said Alan, and realized there were two people between me and my wife, Becca. Literally two whole bodies, our 2-year-old and our newborn. And that made me feel really depressed. I missed Becca. I just wasn't getting enough of her. A few days later, he and Becca were sitting on the couch with the kids, and she asked, "What's the matter?" "I'm having a pity party," Alan confessed. "I feel like you and I never do anything together anymore, just the two of us. You're always busy with the kids. I can't seem to get any of your attention." Becca react? She blew up, she recalls. Here I was with one kid crawling all over me and this infant hanging on my teat. Well, then I got this other big baby telling me that I'm not paying enough attention to his needs. It really made me angry. I told him, "I can't deal with this situation either. You've got to do something about it." What did Alan do? He was great, Becca recalls. He got up off the couch and he took the 2-year-old to the park. And it wasn't just that afternoon. He did the same thing every day for the next month. They went to the zoo, the aquarium, McDonald's, everywhere. And I finally got to spend some time alone with the baby, which is what I really needed. For the first time since he was born, I started to relax. As for Alan's needs, well, it took a few weeks, Becca recalls. But after a while, I was able to say, "Okay, let's get back to your pity party.
Yeah.
What can we do about your feelings?" Waiting a while was fine, said Alan. What's important is that Becca came through. She always does. The point of this story is that Alan had a valid need to connect with Becca, and he stated his bid in the gentlest of ways. But Becca was in no position to turn toward his bid at the time. In fact, she not only turned against his bid, she upped the ante by demanding that he do something for her instead. Now, everything worked out, and here's why.
This is really important.
Alan and Becca had a long history of turning toward one another. That history gave them the confidence to ride out the crisis, knowing they'd eventually get back to even ground.
Yeah, and churches are one of those places where we give bids to each other in very small ways all the time. I'm thinking about the coffee break, the coffee hour at First Presbyterian Church Verona. It's one of the best places. We welcome people that we haven't seen in a long time, or maybe that are visiting for the first time. And those just casual conversations where you walk up to a stranger, or you walk up to someone that isn't a stranger, and you just sidle up behind them and you talk about the weather or something like that. Those are all those easy daily bids that build up that emotional capital and that trust. And we are in a crisis.
Yeah, we are. And I'm reminded of some churches that, for example, every other session meeting is a dinner where they do less business.
Yes.
That allows for deeper emotional connections, the giving and taking of bids, so that when something stressful does come up, a difficult decision, you've got all that in place.
Yes, and very much there's a lot of wisdom there. So we're not in a position now where we get to have those weekly gatherings in person. So thank you for those that are making the time to gather by a digital platform, calling people, reaching out to people, keeping those emotional connections alive. But more than that, This is just an encouragement that as we work through our various crises, as we all approach each other from the end of our emotional rope, let's remember together the trust that we've built up and the emotional stability that we've created so that we can make good decisions through this crisis together, like this couple.
And tend to one another's needs.
And tend to one another's needs, even if we have to put up with a little deferred gratification once in a while.
Yes.
All right. God bless you all.
Indeed.
Bye-bye.